It's like there's two people. Like I'm two people. The one, there's two people here. One has like almost gladiator boots on, leather with like rawhide ties, and one's in like a whitish robe that goes all the way down, like a iridescent. They're both very different energies. I don't know which one's me.
Okay, let's talk about both of them. One at a time. The one wearing the whitish robe, is that a male or female?
It's a little bit more male than female, but it's not. It doesn't really identify. I'm going to say a little bit more male.
Okay. And how about the one wearing the gladiator boots?
Very male.
Okay. And the gentleman or the being wearing the whitish robe, would you say that is a male? I mean, is he young or old?
He seems timeless.
Okay. And what's he doing?
It's like they're a team. He's the one with the gladiator boots is the warrior, the actor, the one who goes out, and the other one is the planner and the seer and the performs the magic and the rituals and can see and plan. And they work together. It's almost like they share each other's minds, but they can't do the same things. They need each other to complete their tasks, but one has to do the physical work and fighting, and the other does the strategy and the seeing and the planning. The one that does that lives much longer than the other one. His life is limited, but the one who does the planning lives for millennia and can go different places, where the warrior is stuck in that time and that place.
Would you say the one in the whitish robe is the guide or guardian of the gladiator?
He guides him, but they're a team. He's not a guardian. They have a mission to complete, and the one who knows and plans works with and uses his physical form and energy to complete the mission that needs to be done. Neither could do it without the other in that form. They're both aware of each other.
And what is the mission?
The mission is, there's the planet that the warrior is on it's not dying, that's not the right word. It's like the planet itself is under attack. Not just the people on the planet.
And who or what is attacking the planet?
It's a energy from another universe that is trying to feed off of that planet and take its energy, not its resources, its life force, trying to take its life force to feed itself. It's not another planet, it's like it's almost like a black hole, but it's not, because you can see it. It's amorphous and can change shape, but it needs to feed off of big objects to keep itself going.
Tell us more about this mission. How will you accomplish this mission, or what is your aim to accomplish?
The goal is to release the planet from the grips of this entity, and the warrior wants to save not only the planet but his people on the planet, and the magician or mage or wizard wants to help him, but he's more concerned in saving the planet itself. But both need to be saved, so it's a moot point, it doesn't matter. But the motivation of the warrior is more aligned with his tribe and people, and the motivation of the magician seer is more aligned with the planet.
And how will they be able to accomplish this?
They are doing spells. They are shoring up the planet herself by outposts, setting certain people and certain energies, certain people and certain talismans around the planet to deflect the entity that wants to suck the energy from it. So the planner, the magician, gives the advice and orders of where this should be done and what should be set up and who should be at these places with what tools, and they're using rocks and crystals and lights and energies and at strategic points, and the warrior is the one who organizes that all and makes sure that they have what they need and gets the people to where they need to be to set up the protections around so that the entity cannot take the energy from the planet.
Does this planet have a name?
Starts with an E, or Urea or Urea.
Are there many other beings like the warrior there?
Well, he's the main guy, but he has many people that he is commanding right now, even not just the other warriors, but all of the people on the planet are involved. It's not a very populated planet, so it is easier to coordinate, and everybody knows and believes that this is happening, so they are all doing their part to save their planet and themselves.
Tell us more about this planet. What was it like before this negative energy came?
It was not as stark. It was more with life. The lake that I saw at the beginning was full of energy and life, and had waves and different colors. It's very dark now. It's very monochrome now. It used to be not that way. And there were about the same amount of people. The people haven't been decimated, but it was more life, more color, more energy, more vibrancy, more vibration. It's been being sucked for a while before they figured out what was going on.
So what was a typical day like before the negative stuff started happening?
It was very almost like pastoral, not tribal. The people would grow food, talk with each other, go for walks, tell stories, enjoy each other, enjoy the planet.
Was there any modes of transportation then?
There were rustic modes of transportation, but they stuck mostly to themselves in their little areas, and tribe isn't the right word. It's a clan, maybe? And they were always cordial to other people and other areas, but there wasn't a lot of exploring or going, or there was some trading and some getting together, but it was very simple.
And what about the climate? What was that like?
It fluctuated. So it was temperate, but they would have colds. They would have what we consider winters, where they would have to shelter and slow down, and it never got very hot. It was temperate and cold. They had ice and snow, and then they would have temperate times.
What were some of the things they would do for fun?
They would have what we consider music and stories. They don't really think of having fun in the same way because it was simple and every day was there was no stress to need to get away from, so every day for them was what we would consider easy. So the joy was more a part of daily life and accessible, and they didn't need to plan for fun.
Tell us more about the gladiator. Would he be considered a human?
He's humanoid. Almost, he's big. Big, strong. Not quite like, well, maybe we would consider him a giant, but it's very big. Big muscles, big, almost a square head. Not animalistic, because he's very intelligent, but some maybe what we would consider animalistic features with his jawbone and more hair than maybe a human would have, but they're advanced intellectually but simple technologically.
Were all the beings on this planet humanoid like the gladiator?
Yes.
And did they all have a team like the gladiator has the being with the whitish robe? Did every humanoid have another being they work with?
The other being was called to that place through the entity sucking the life out of that planet. That being is not from that planet. That being came to that planet and manifested to help with the survival of that planet.
So the gladiator called him in?
The energies of all of the people called him in, but he was resonated with the gladiator. The gladiator was the person chosen to lead these people during these times. He had the skills and the strength and the abilities that were needed to help coordinate and make things happen.
So what's the status of the mission right now?
It's better than it was. It seems to be working. It is more difficult for the entity to get the energy that he needs from the planet everybody is where they should be at this point, and the spells and the protections seem to be fending off. The planet has not regained any strength and vitality, but it hasn't lost any more since they've put everything into place.
And what needs to happen now so they can be happy again?
Time, and the intention is that the entity has to spend too much energy to express what it needs from the planet, so it will go off to maybe find another planet or another way to survive. They don't have the ability to contain the entity at this point. When the entity, that's the magician, mage, is part of a council, they cannot, his people are waiting for the entity to unattach itself from the planet, and then they can attempt to contain it. If they contained it now while it had its energy intertwined with the planet, it would be detrimental to the planet. So they are there through him. He is connected to many other beings in a grouping or council, and then once they can disconnect the entity enough, they will try to surround the entity and contain it so that it can't feed off of other things. It's a parasitic energy, so it has to feed off of other things.
Mm.
They've done this before with other planets and entities, so they have experience. Not the gladiator, the magician, mage,
Mm-hmm.
wise one. So they are aware of how to do this safely. It's almost like a surgery that they have to perform, but they can't do it on their own. The people on the planet have to be involved because they are part of the energy of the planet.
And what will they do next?
They're waiting. Now it's just waiting for the entity to get tired and stop siphoning. It's trying to siphon, but it can't with all of these people and things in place. So it will get tired and realize that it's not being fed, and it will disengage. So they're just waiting.
Do they know where it originated from?
It originated from another, it came through a wormhole close by. So it originated from another place and maybe time.
What can they do to prevent this from ever coming through again?
They try to and do mend up the holes, but new holes are being made all the time. So usually planets don't get attacked again once it happens, but it's an ongoing battle to contain these energies, and they are being created because of a lack of something else where they come from. They didn't used to be parasitic. Something got destroyed in their quadrant, and now they have to go out and feed off of others. They used to live in harmony as well. And then something happened in their reality that took away their source, and now they have to feed off of other planets.
Is it possible to return them to source so they could be balanced and whole again instead of a parasite?
Yes, that is what they try to do. They contain them and then try to realign them in a way where they realize that they do not have to be parasitic and they can find another way to feed themselves. Something was destroyed in their quadrant, and they're desperate, and all that they could think of was to go and take the energy from something else because they were in survival mode and they didn't have the time or the ability, because they don't think in the way that advanced energies think, that they just needed to survive. So once they're disengaged, the council that's assigned to them brings them for rehabilitation to find other ways to feed instead of killing something else.
Alrighty, now let's leave the scene you've been watching and move ahead to an important day. And tell us what's happening on this important day.
The wise one is leaving. He's telling the warrior that it's all under control now, and it will start to reverse. They've contained the entity, and he will take it to see if it can be reintegrated and rehabilitated. The planet will take some time to rejuvenate, but he assures them that it has enough energy to rejuvenate and it will be fine.